Ich begrüße euch zu diesem neuen Video und ich sitze hier mit dem Luke. Das ist ein waschechter Amerikaner. Aus Tennessee kommt er nämlich, also einem Südstaat. Und ich dachte, wir machen mal so ein kleines Interview. Ich habe so ein paar Fragen vorbereitet. Manche Fragen, die ihr auch gestellt habt bei meinen letzten US-Videos. Und dementsprechend gehen wir mal drauf ein. Und immer wenn er ein bisschen was gesagt hat auf Englisch, werde ich das ein bisschen, wenn ich es hinkriege, auf Deutsch übersetzen. Für euch, damit das vom Fluss her ganz gut ist und auch verständlich ist. Ja, und dementsprechend viel Spaß. Well, look, I just introduced you. You're from Tennessee, and you're from car detailing channel on YouTube, and are entrepreneur in business and something like that.
Yes.
And yes. Well, just tell us something, or how do you describe yourself?
Yes, so I would describe myself as probably just an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yes, simply.
Okay, also er würde sich selber einfach nur als Entrepreneur, also als selbstständigen Macher, irgendwie sowas kann man das sagen, vorstellen. Well, my first question, you're from Tennessee?
Yes.
The Mississippi, I looked it up on the card,
Yep.
is the border.
Yes.
In the east, in the west
Yes,
side,
yes.
I think. Okay, you've been there?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, because in Germany I think the Mississippi is famous for Huckleberry Finn.
Oh,
You know?
Huckleberry Finn,
Yeah.
Yes. It is famous for him, yes.
Okay, ich habe ihn gerade gefragt, der ist aus Tennessee, wie gesagt, und Südstaat, und Tennessee hat den Mississippi-Fluss als Grenze im Westen, und ich denke, der Mississippi ist bei uns bekannt durch Huckleberry Finn und diese Geschichte. Well, you've started your business by car detailing when you were 14 years old?
13, yes.
13. Now you're 22?
And now I'm 22, yes.
Now you're 22, okay. And now you're focused on YouTube and the YouTube professional car detailing?
Yes.
Okay. Also der Luke ist ganz interessant insofern, weil er hat sich mit 13 Jahren schon selbstständig gemacht und das finde ich ist eine coole Sache. Dann widerspiegelt auch direkt wieder so die amerikanische Mentalität, schon als Kind ein bisschen mit was anzufangen, hinzugehen und versuchen, sich was aufzubauen. Und das hat er gemacht, bis er jetzt 22 ist und jetzt mittlerweile lebt er von dem ganzen System und ist aber fokussiert auf YouTube. How do you imagine Germany? You have never been there.
I've never been to Germany.
To Europe?
I have been to Europe.
Where exactly?
England.
Okay, what do you think about Germany when I say Germany?
Yes, yes. So I think when I think about Germany, first I think of beer.
Okay, okay.
Then the first thing, I mean, honestly, this is kind of bad, but the first thing I think about when I think of Germany, probably just because I've read so many books about it, I think of World War II.
Really?
A lot, yes.
Okay.
But I kind of think of like aggressive people or like louder people.
Was my voice louder and
No,
aggressive?
no, yours not. No, not at all.
Feel free to say, no
I'm
problem.
probably louder and more aggressive than you are.
Okay, okay. Also er hat gerade gesagt, 3 Sachen quasi, die er als erstes direkt dran denkt, wenn er an Deutschland denkt. Er war auch in England, wie gesagt, aber das finde ich ist gar nicht so europäisch, allein wegen der Sprache. Als erstes hat er gesagt, er denkt direkt an gute deutsche Bier, klar. Als zweites, Zweiten Weltkrieg, das finde ich auch wiederum sehr interessant. Das bekommt man dann in der Schule anscheinend hier immer noch so eingetrichtert und beigebracht. Do you lock your house door? Because it is a myth in Germany, I think. In some states of the US, they don't lock their door. Is it right?
That is true. Yeah,
So you can go to your house and
open the door.
just open the door.
Now, there's certain places in the US that you would not want to do that.
Okay.
But particularly, I think in the southern states, not everywhere, but there's a lot of places in the South where it's just really safe. Like there's not really any crime, and actually all growing up, my mom never locked the door.
Unbelievable.
And my cousins, who live about 3 hours away from me in Tennessee, they never lock their door, ever. So still, but at night we lock our door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we do.
but growing up
Okay.
at night, my mom never locked the door at night.
Okay.
So it's true.
So I think this is an urgent question for this first question.
Yes.
So you and your family are from the middle class?
Yeah, so
or the higher class or lower? Or
that's a great
how do you
question.
define?
You know, that's a really good question. So, I would say that that when I was really, really young, we were probably lower class.
Okay.
Yes, but as I grew up, I would say I probably grew up in the upper middle class. So a bit higher than the middle class.
Okay.
Yes.
And also, this defines the region where you're living.
We live in. I grew up in one of the richest places in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
technically on a list, it would be the 16th richest county in the
Okay.
United States.
How's it called?
It's called Williamson County. Williamson County, yes.
Also wie gesagt, ich habe jetzt gerade gefragt, ob er wirklich, weil das ist ja so ein Mythos in Deutschland, dass es verschiedene Bundesstaaten in den USA gibt, wo man wirklich nicht hingeht und seine Tür abschließt. Und er hat das bestätigt, seine Mutter zum Beispiel hat noch nie die Tür abgeschlossen. Seine 3 Cousins, 3 Stunden wohnen sie entfernt in Tennessee, die haben noch nie im Leben eine Tür abgeschlossen. Aber nachts machen sie es wohl dann ab und zu und so weiter. Und dann ist natürlich die wichtige Frage, ist das jetzt hier so ein superreicher Typ, wo man einfach sagen kann, ja klar, der hat so viel Kohle und wohnt in so einem beruhigten Bereich, dass man das gar nicht muss. Aber nein, gehört zur Mittelklasse oder vielleicht höheren Mittelklasse, aber auch nicht sein Leben lang, wie er gerade geschildert hat. Okay, next question. Do you have a health insurance?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Because in Germany, everybody thinks no American people has an insurance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would say the majority of Americans have health insurance. It would be
Okay.
it would be probably a few of just a low percentage of people who don't. So this is a big controversial topic.
I think so. Yes.
Yes, I have health insurance, and my wife has health. We both have health insurance. But actually, the previous president, who was Barack Obama, he passed a law.
The Obamacare?
The Obamacare, yeah.
It's also a question. What do you think about it?
Oh, yes. I'll try to answer that. So just before I say anything, I'll say this. I am not very political. I'm not very political, but I do. So I'll try to speak to both sides of things.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, because I'm not very political, but I do read a lot. I read about a book a week, so I'm pretty up to date on everything. But in the United States, we kind of believe there's this underlying belief that says we should have the freedom to choose what we want to do and what we don't want to do.
Okay.
And as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else or infringe on anyone else's life, it's my choice to decide. So before Obama, you could either choose to have health care or choose not to have health insurance.
Okay.
So you didn't have to have it, right?
Okay.
You had
Understood.
you had the choice. Obama basically passed a law. This is really simple because it's not this simple. There's a lot of other things. This is a really oversimplified way to say it. He basically passed, the Obamacare Act, and that says that every American should have health insurance. And the belief there is that America is a very wealthy nation, and we live very well, obviously, and nobody in this country should not have health insurance, which is a noble thing, I think, to believe.
Okay.
But on the other side of that, Americans say, well, hold on. Why should you have the ability to force me to do something if I don't want to do it? So that's kind of the debate. But I do have health insurance, yes.
Okay. Also zusammengefasst, er hat eine Krankenversicherung. Das war die Frage, ob er eine Krankenversicherung hat, weil für meinen Geschmack, von meiner persönlichen Meinung her, bekomme ich das auch immer wieder irgendwie so mit, dass es heißt, nö, ich habe keine Versicherung in den USA und die überwiegende Mehrheit in den USA hat keine Krankenversicherung. Aber das ist nicht korrekt, wie er gerade sagt. Er sagt eigentlich so, überwiegend die Amerikaner hätten eine und er und seine Frau beispielsweise haben sie. Genau, und dann habe ich ihn noch gefragt über das Obamacare und da ging es darum, dass das den Amerikanern überwiegend nicht gefallen hat. Deswegen wurde das Ganze ja auch wieder von Trump rückgängig gemacht, denn man wurde geforst, also dazu gezwungen, gedrängt dazu einfach, ja gezwungen kann man eigentlich schon sagen, dass man die Krankenversicherung haben muss. Generell gesehen ist das natürlich was Gutes, weil dann jeder Amerikaner sich auch so ein System leisten kann. Well, next question is a great or a big topic in Germany. It's Greta Thunberg.
Okay.
You never heard this name?
Uh-uh.
I will show you a picture.
Okay.
Also ich habe ihn gerade gefragt, ob er Greta Thunberg kennt, Leute, so wie ich das hier eigentlich viele gefragt habe. Und that little girl, you know, from Sweden, she's a climate activist.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yes. She's very, very young.
Yeah, 16, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you know her?
I think I knew her. She did some sort of interview that I saw.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yes, she arrived 3 or 4 weeks ago in New York and has a meeting at the UN and was talking about climate change in the world, and we all have to be feared and have to wear and something like that.
Right.
And in Germany, everybody knows her.
Okay.
Because she has a big lobby in Germany, I think, and some political parties in Germany, the Greens they are called, are interested in her and what she says and something like that. And on the other side, there are some people who say, like me, she's talking so much, but I don't know.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Okay. Zusammengefasst, er kennt Greta, nachdem er das Bild jetzt gerade gesehen hat, wie er mitgekriegt hat. Er liest aber auch ein Buch pro Woche, hat er ja gesagt, zuvor in der Frage. Und hat sie wohl in irgendeinem Interview irgendwie gesehen. Aber so richtig Klima und alles, das ist hier nicht auf dem Schirm. In addition to this question, what do you think about climate change, and are you and the US people are aware of it?
That is a good question. I try not to speak on things that I don't understand.
It's a good opinion.
Yes.
That's what I say.
Yes. So I don't talk about things I don't understand at a deep level. So I will say this. I know that climate change is a very big issue to some, and other people it is not an issue at all. I'll say this. Most of the time in life, I think, things are not as simple as they seem, and they're also not as complicated as they seem. They're generally somewhere in the middle. And when I find a topic where people are on two totally different sides, I try to look right down the middle and say, what's really happening here? And that's probably all I can say about that.
Okay, not more.
I think we're aware of it. I don't know that everyone, I don't understand the scientific material behind it, so that's why I say I wouldn't speak on it.
Let me translate it.
Yes.
Also er merkt ja, er druckst ein bisschen, also er will nicht so richtig ins Thema reingehen, warum auch immer. Aber was er auf jeden Fall sagt, und das finde ich sehr gut, weil das macht einen Charakter, wie ich finde, sehr stark und sehr aus, und das spiegel ich ja auch öfter in diesem Kanal hier wieder und sage und spreche mich dafür aus, dass man über ein Thema, was man in einer ganzen großen Tiefe nicht wirklich verstehen kann, gar nicht so darüber sprechen sollte. Do you change your behavior about in fact of climate change or something like that? So
Yeah.
The air conditioner not using so much, or driving less, going more by feet.
In America?
It's a no, okay.
It's a no.
Okay, also dementsprechend habe ich jetzt gefragt, ob so Ansatzpunkte irgendwie da sind, das Verhalten einfach zu ändern, weniger Klimaanlage zu nutzen, mehr zu Fuß zu gehen und so. Scheint nicht vorhanden zu sein. Oh. You know what will come. What do you think about Donald Trump? And we have to discuss 2 points in this question. At first, as a human, as a person,
Right.
and about his politics. Ich habe ihn jetzt ganz klar gefragt, wie ich das mit anderen Amerikanern hier auch schon gemacht habe, aus den anderen Videos, wisst ihr das, was er über Donald Trump denkt. Und das muss man ganz klar unterscheiden in 2 Punkte. Erstmal menschlich, was hält er als Person von ihm, und zweitens, wie sieht es mit der Politik aus, was er für Amerika macht oder halt auch nicht macht.
This is a very difficult question because people are very sensitive about this question.
How did you call it?
Touchy.
It's a touchy.
It's a touchy subject.
Okay.
So, I have read many of Donald Trump's books that he wrote. There's a couple things I would say about this. Number one, there's a lot of people in the United States who say Donald Trump is stupid, or he's a moron, which means he's an idiot. And the problem is, you can't make hundreds of millions of dollars by being an idiot.
I think so too.
It doesn't happen, okay? So, it just doesn't happen. It's not very easy to make hundreds of millions of dollars. It also wasn't given to him. He actually did it. His dad owned a much smaller scale real estate business. So, do I think Donald Trump is an idiot? Not at all. I actually think he's incredibly smart. I do. Does he have a very aggressive and abrasive personality? Yes. However, I'll also say this, because I like to study a lot about psychology, and from a psychological perspective, there's a trait, a human trait, a personality trait called agreeableness. And what it means is, if you have a very high level of agreeableness, it means that you're very compassionate and you care a lot about people. You're going to let other people go before you. You're very sensitive to other people. Somebody who's very low in agreeableness.
Okay, I have to translate it, because I've showed the word up. Agreeableness ist Verträglichkeit, Liebenswürdigkeit, angenehmes Wesen. Und ja, das spricht er jetzt dem Donald Trump natürlich nicht so zu. Er hat ein relativ aggressives Auftreten.
Donald Trump is very low in agreeableness. He doesn't have a lot of agreeableness from a psychological standpoint. People, this is just statistically, this is true. People who are very low in agreeableness tend to do much better when it comes to corporate success. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
Okay? So people who are low agreeable do very well in corporate success. People who are very high in agreeableness tend to do not very well with their corporate career.
For example, because they are more rational for decisions.
Okay, yes. In other words, they're going to look out for themselves first and then you second. A person who is very high in agreeableness will look out for you first and them second.
Sagt jetzt gerade was ganz Interessantes, was ich ganz interessant finde. Da gibt es wohl Statistiken drüber, muss man recherchieren, ob das wahr ist. Ich nehme das jetzt mal an. Also jemand, der diese Liebenswürdigkeit und alles auf einem geringeren Level hat, der ist im Corporate, also im Businessbereich und so weiter, deutlich erfolgreicher als jemand, bei dem es genau umgekehrt aussieht.
Okay, so Donald Trump is very low in agreeableness, and so he's looked out for himself first. And so people, whether that's right or wrong, is hard to say, right? It's hard to say whether that's right or wrong. Does it make him probably pretty aggressive and maybe kind of mean? Yes. But it works very well for him in his career success. So, as a person, he's probably pretty aggressive, he's probably pretty mean. That's probably true.
Okay. Now it is interesting what do you think about his politics, because I've talked to some people here in the US, as I told you, and all of them said, yes, Joe has created more jobs and we are more wealthy, and it's better for us.
Yes.
You think so too?
Yes, so from if you're just looking at the economy right now, yes, the economy from a certain standpoint is doing better than it ever has been. Well, but I think when you pull back the layers a little bit, we have to understand that this is going to be a controversial thing that I'm going to say, but the president does not have as much of an effect on my life and on your life as people in America want to act like they do, okay? So the president does have some power, but it's very limited. And from a much greater perspective, at a fundamental level, like Robert Kiyosaki actually talks about, we are printing money. We're printing money, okay? Every single day we're printing more money. So it's a bubble, right? It's like blowing up a balloon. You just
Of
put
course,
more,
of
put more,
course,
but
yeah.
eventually the balloon pops, okay? So I don't look at the economy as a Donald Trump problem. I look at it as a much larger problem. We have a much bigger problem going on here worldwide. It's not just America. The world has an economical problem, that we are actually printing money, we're creating money out of thin air, and that is a problem. And I don't know what the repercussions of that are going to be, but it is going to be a big deal. So from one stance, yes, there are more jobs, unemployment is very low. From another stance, there's a big problem going on, and I'm not sure what the solution is, but it's manifesting in things like student loan debt. I don't know if you're familiar with but student loan debt. In America, a student can essentially...
$100,000 after the study.
Right. Essentially, a student can go get a $100,000 loan based off of nothing. Whether they're able to pay it back, who knows? But they're legally able to do that. Well, that has to end at some point, and we don't know what that's going to be. But it's definitely an issue. It's an issue.
Also erster Part, den er quasi jetzt noch mal gesagt hat, geht darum, klar, den USA geht es besser, mehr Jobs und alles. Now I remember. Der Part, den der Präsident hat, der hat gar nicht so viel Einfluss auf das Gesamtsystem, wie er meint. Und das betrifft ihn persönlich gar nicht so stark. Und der Economy geht es irgendwo besser. Man muss nur das große Ganze halt sehen, ist halt relativ wichtig dabei, weil es wird halt täglich von der Fed natürlich, klar, jeden Tag wirklich viel Geld gedruckt und dieses System bläht sich halt auf zu einer Blase und jede Blase wird irgendwann platzen und das finde ich ist ein ganz interessanter Punkt, weil so wie er es jetzt geschildert hat, von meiner Wahrnehmung her, ist es auch so, dass nicht generell alles mit der aufgeblasenen Economy und so weiter ein amerikanisches Problem darstellt, sondern natürlich ein weltweites Problem. Und da stimme ich ihm voll und ganz zu. Have you ever been visited other countries and would you like to emigrate to one? Or do you say, I love the US, I will stay and die here? Ich habe ihn gerade gefragt, ob er jemals irgendwie ein anderes Land besucht hat. Okay, UK hatten wir ja schon gehört. Aber ob er sich auch vorstellen könnte, in irgendein anderes Land auszuwandern. Oder ob er die USA so liebt und dass er hier komplett sterben möchte.
I have been to Mexico, Colombia, Honduras, and Aruba, and England. But I'll say this, I will not ever live there. The truth is, I don't think that, I'm not saying the US has everything right, but the United States has definitely done a lot of things right, and I really like it here.
Okay, also ihr habt die Länder gehört, er war in einigen Ländern, Kolumbien, was er alles erzählt hat und leben möchte er da nicht. Nein, er liebt die USA und die USA haben einiges richtig gemacht in der Richtung, kann man sagen. Und dementsprechend waschechter Amerikaner, denke ich. Luke, that's it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It was me a pleasure.
Thank you.
Also, habe mich noch bedankt. Dementsprechend, Leute, abonniert den Kanal, wenn ihr das noch nicht getan habt. Und schreibt mal eure Meinung jetzt dazu unten gerne rein. Echter Südstaaten-Amerikaner hier aus Tennessee, war mal was ganz anderes Interview-Style. Ich hoffe, bei meinem Englisch hat es geklappt, war ein bisschen nervös gerade und so weiter. Ja, sollte aber gepasst haben. Wie ihr gesehen habt, so eine Konversation kann man auch ganz gut führen. Dementsprechend Daumen hoch, haut rein, bis zum nächsten Video. Ciao. Ja, Freunde, eine ganz wichtige Frage ist jetzt beim Essen gerade noch aufgekommen, die haben wir natürlich vergessen. Es geht um Waffen. Wie steht denn der Luke zu Waffen? What do you think about weapons, about guns?
Yes. So I grew up around guns and I always hunted with my dad. And I think if I had to give a simple answer, yes, guns can be used very badly. However, when you understand guns and you are educated around the subject, they can be a very, very useful and safe thing to have around. So I am actually very in favor of guns.
Okay, also ihr habt es an seiner Mimik und Gestik bestimmt schon bemerkt. Also er ist Waffen sehr, sehr positiv eingestellt und dementsprechend ist er damit halt rund um Waffen halt aufgewachsen, war mit seinem Vater halt früher öfter jagen. Okay, I think that's it.
Yep.
Now, thank you very much. das war's. Dementsprechend, Freunde, haut rein, bis zum nächsten Video und ciao.